Hello children. Today we are going to share a story which is name is The Adventures of Peter Pan. So, let's start it. Once upon a time, in the bustling city of London, there lived a boy named Peter Pan. He was a curious and mischievous boy who refused to grow up. He would spend his days flying around the rooftops of London, playing pranks on passers-by, and dreaming of adventure. One night, as Peter was drifting off to sleep, he heard a faint whisper in his ear. "Peter," the voice whispered, "follow me." Without hesitation, Peter sprang out of bed and followed the voice out the window and into the starry night sky. Peter Pan soared higher and higher through the starry night sky, feeling the cool wind rush past his face as he marveled at the sights below. Suddenly, he became aware of a delicate tinkling sound that seemed to be coming from all around him. As the sound grew louder, Peter strained his ears to try and identify its source. That's when he saw them, a group of tiny fairies, flitting about him with their wings a blur of iridescent color. Their high-pitched laughter filled his ears, and Peter couldn't help but grin in delight at the sight of them. The fairies seemed to be guiding him somewhere, and Peter couldn't resist the urge to follow. As he flew with the fairies, he noticed that the world around him was changing. The familiar sights of London disappeared, replaced by an otherworldly landscape that he had never seen before. Despite feeling a little uneasy at this sudden change, Peter couldn't deny the thrill of adventure that coursed through his veins. He flew faster, chasing after the fairies who were leading him to this mysterious place. With each passing moment, the world around Peter became more wondrous and magical. Strange creatures flew past him, and the air was alive with the sweet scent of flowers and the distant sound of waterfalls. As he soared higher into the sky, Peter knew that he was entering a place he had never been before, a place filled with endless possibilities and incredible adventures. Before long, Peter and the fairies arrived at a magical place called Neverland. It was a place filled with wonder and adventure, where time stood still and children never grew up. In Neverland, Peter met a host of fascinating characters, including the mischievous Lost Boys, the cunning Captain Hook, and the beautiful mermaids who sang songs that made the whole world feel alive. Together with his new friends, Peter embarked on many adventures in Neverland. They battled fierce pirates, explored secret caves, and soared through the clouds. Peter never grew tired of the excitement and the thrill of the unknown. As Peter and his friends played their games and explored the wonders of Neverland, he felt a strange sensation within him. At first, he couldn't quite put his finger on what it was, but as time passed, the feeling became stronger and more persistent. It was a peculiar tug at his heartstrings, a yearning for something he couldn't quite name. He knew he loved being in Neverland, and the thrill of adventure was as alluring as ever, but there was a growing sense of longing in his chest. It wasn't until one quiet evening, as he sat by the edge of a serene lagoon, that he realized what it was. Peter missed his family back in London. He missed the warm embrace of his parents, the laughter of his siblings, and the familiarity of the home he had known for so long. The realization struck him hard, and for a moment Peter felt a pang of homesickness that he had never experienced before. But with it came a newfound appreciation for the joys of home and the simple pleasures of life. He knew that he couldn't stay in Neverland forever, and that there was a world outside of this magical land that he had yet to explore. As he pondered these thoughts, Peter knew that it was time for him to return home. He had to see his family again, to tell them of the incredible adventures he had had in Neverland, and to thank them for their unwavering love and support. With a heavy heart, Peter said his goodbyes to his friends in Neverland, promising to return someday. As he flew back to London, he couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude and contentment. He had experienced a world beyond his wildest dreams, but he had also learned that there was no place like home. So Peter bid his friends farewell and flew back to London, where he was reunited with his family. As he drifted off to sleep that night, he knew that he had had the adventure of a lifetime, but he was also grateful for the familiar comforts of home. From that day on, Peter continued to visit Neverland whenever he could. But he also learned to appreciate the joys of growing up, like having a loving family, making new friends, and exploring the world in new and exciting ways. And so, with a heart full of wonder and a mind full of memories, Peter drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the adventures that awaited him in the magical world of Neverland. And so, the adventures of Peter Pan in the magical world of Neverland came to an end. Though he would always treasure the memories of his time there, he knew that his heart belonged to the people and places he had left behind. As he reunited with his family and settled back into his life in London, Peter reflected on all that he had learned during his adventures. He had discovered the thrill of exploration and the joy of discovering new things, but he had also realized the value of home and the importance of the people who loved him. Through his experiences, Peter had come to understand that there was no need to rush through life or try to hold onto childhood forever. Growing up had its own set of challenges and rewards, and it was something to be embraced rather than feared. The moral of the story is that while it's natural to seek adventure and excitement in life, it's also important to appreciate the simple joys of home and the love of family and friends. And though the lure of the unknown may be strong, there's no place like home to find true happiness and contentment. Goodbye.